Hey Preschool 2 friends, it's Teacher Annette, and today I want to play a syllable game with you. Do you know what a syllable is? A syllable is a single part of a word, a single sound part of a word. We can figure out how many syllables a word has by clapping the word. So let's practice finding syllables, and we can use my name. So we're not going to do Teacher Annette, we'll just do Annette. Okay? Let's listen to the word and see if we can hear how many sounds. Annette. How many syllables do you think will be in my name? Let's clap and find out. Annette. 2 syllables. You can practice this with your name too. How many syllables does your name have? We can also practice with the names of things that we know, like apple. Let's listen. Apple. How many sounds, how many syllables do you think there will be? Let's clap. Apple. It took 2 claps to say apple, and that's 2 syllables. But what about a longer word? What about a word like computer? How can we figure out how many sounds computer has? We can clap it too. All right, let's try. Computer. 3 syllables. It took 3 claps to say the word computer, and there's 3 syllables. That's how many sounds make the word computer. So for this game, I drew a bunch of pictures and I put their names next to each picture. And at the top of my board, I wrote how many syllables. Oh, even syllable is kind of a long word, especially if you add an S at the end for syllables. So let's see how many syllables all of these things have. There will be a few with 1 syllable, a few with 2 syllables, a few with 3 syllables, and even a few with 4 syllables. But I know you can do it. All right, so let's start. We're going to name the pictures. We're going to clap out the sounds. And when we find out how many syllables the word has, we'll write the number in a pink marker next to the word. And this symbol here, the 2 dots, that means that there's something about this word that's coming after this, or that's coming after it. All right? So that's how we'll know that that's the number of syllables in this word. Let's start with the word kite. Have you ever flown a kite? Let's find out how many syllables the word kite has. All right, ready to clap? Let's go. Kite. Oh, just 1 syllable. So we'll take our marker and write the number 1. 1 syllable. All right, let's move on. I think we should do this one next. And do you know what this is? Where I live, it's called a ladybug. In some places, it might be called a ladybird. How many syllables in the word ladybug? Let's count. Ladybug. 3 syllables. That's kind of a big jump from 1. All right, what should we do next? How about this one? Now, you might know this as a fish tank, and that's usually what I call it too, but sometimes people call it an aquarium. And for right now, we're gonna call this an aquarium. You can pretend this is part of all those fish tanks at Walmart, or the kind of aquarium that you go to on like school trips or with your parents, and you get to see all kinds of really cool fish. Let's clap out the syllables. Aquarium. How many syllables in aquarium? 4. But if we had done fish tank, how many syllables do you think that would be? Let's try it. Fish tank. 2 syllables. All right, but this aquarium was 4, so let's write the number 4. Okay, so I realized I wrote these numbers backwards. It's hard to tell because when I look at my camera, I can see the pictures, I can see myself, but everything's backwards. So it's kind of like looking in the mirror, and it's a little confusing sometimes. But let's move on. So let's do this one. And what does this look like to you? It's supposed to be a worm. Now usually when you find worms, they're not this pink. They might be a little pink, but they crawl in the dirt, so usually they look more brown or see-through even sometimes, just a little bit. So let's find out how many syllables are in the word worm. Ready? Let's clap. Worm. 1 syllable. That's an easy one. This time, let's go across this way. I think that would be fun. All right, so do you know what this is? Usually it's more of a circle, but my hands get really shaky sometimes, so it's hard to draw shapes like circles sometimes, but that's okay because I did my best and I had fun doing it. But this, you might have one on your jacket or on your pants or a skirt or overalls. It might look a little different from this, or it might have these 4 holes. It might not have any holes, and it might snap together. But this is a button. So let's clap out the word button. Ready? All right. Button. Button. 2 syllables. And how about this? Have you ever had a food that looks like that? Well, you might have had this food, but it didn't look like this. Maybe it looked a little different. This is an egg, and it sometimes looks like this when you first put it in the pan or when you open it. Or sometimes people cook their eggs so that this part is all white and the yolk, the yellow part, is all yellow. All right, so let's see how many syllables in the word egg. Egg, just 1. The 1 is really easy to write backwards and forwards because it looks the same. Oh, and how about this? This is something that a lot of people eat when it's hot out, but we cut it open first. Do you know what it is? It's a watermelon. Let's clap out the syllables in watermelon. Ready? Watermelon. How many times did I clap? How many times did we clap? 4 times. There are 4 syllables in the word watermelon. Oh, okay, let's do this one next. Have you ever seen these? Maybe you haven't seen them right now, but in what we call fall time or autumn, when in some places the trees start to change colors, so they change from green to orange and red and yellow. And around that time, those big oak trees, they start to drop acorns. And you know, there's so many cool things you can do with acorns, and what I like about them is that they look like they're wearing little hats, and I think that's kind of funny. All right, so let's clap out the syllables in acorn. Ready? Acorn. Acorn. 2 syllables. This time, let's start from this side and go this way. So I don't know if it's easy to see, if you can tell, but this is a TV. And I drew Sonic on the TV. I don't know if you've ever played Sonic or seen it, but I know a lot of my friends in preschool too like Sonic, and they've seen the Sonic movie. And I've played Sonic since I was about 10 years old, so it's a really long time. And it's so cool that so many of my preschool friends get to play or watch Sonic too. So that's what I wanted to put on my TV. Now, did you know the word TV is short for something else, for a longer word? Have you ever heard a longer word used for TV? Maybe you've heard the word television. Have you ever heard that word? The T is for tele and the V for vision. Television. That's the word we're going to use to clap out the syllables, but we can try the word TV too. All right? Okay, let's start. Let's do TV first because it's shorter. All right, ready? TV. 2 syllables. But the word television, let's try that one. Television. It's a little hard to break up those sounds, but it's 4 claps, 4 syllables. So we're gonna put the number 4 next to my friend Sonic here. Ta-da! Okay. And how about this? You may have seen this in person. You may have seen it at an aquarium. You might have just seen pictures of it or videos. Do you know what this is? And it's not always pink and blue, but I really like pink and blue, so that's what colors I wanted to use. It's a jellyfish. And they're not made out of jelly, and they're not really fish, but they do live in the ocean with fish, and they are really pretty when they swim. But you have to be careful if you find one at the beach, if you go to the beach where the ocean is. So if you live in California or Florida, if you live in Oregon, if you live in Maine, you know, all those places that are next to the sea, we don't have to worry about these in Michigan, as far as I know. As far as I know, they just live in the ocean. So let's count out the syllables in jellyfish. Okay, ready? Jellyfish. How many times did we clap? 3. So it's 3 syllables. Awesome. Oh, we've only had one other word that was 3 syllables so far. Oh, so now we have 2. Oh my goodness, we only have 2 words left. All right, so let's do our last 2 words. Have you ever seen one of these? It might not have looked like this. It might have looked different. Sometimes they're made out of wood, but usually they're made out of metal. So maybe it doesn't look exactly like this, but it has these steps or rungs. It's a ladder. So let's count how many syllables in the word ladder. Ladder. 2 claps, 2 syllables. 2. And we only have 1 word left. Oh my goodness, I forgot to color in the bottom. So let's do our last picture. And I'm sure that you've used one of these before, right? It's an umbrella. Let's count the syllables in the word umbrella. Ready? Umbrella. How many times did we clap? 3 times. So how many syllables? 3 syllables. We did all of our pictures. Now that you know how to find syllables in words, how to find out how many syllables are in words, you can start clapping words and finding out the syllables yourself. You can do your name, like we did my name at the beginning of the video. You can do things that are in your room or your house. You can do things outside. You can do things, on TV. You could do things in a book. So if I wanted to find out how many syllables the word water bottle has, I know that I can clap the word water bottle and see how many times I clap, because that's how many sounds are in the word. And the number of sounds is the number of syllables. So let's do that last word. Let's do water bottle together. Ready? Water bottle. Oh my goodness, that was 4 syllables. I clapped 4 times. Wow, so that would go with our 4-syllable words. But there are words that are even longer. And if you speak another language, you can use this in that language too. So I know some Spanish and I know some Japanese. So maybe I wanted to do watermelon in Spanish. And watermelon in Spanish is sandia. So I could count the syllables in sandia the same way. Sandia. 3 syllables. And that's different from the word in English. In English, it's 4 syllables, but in Spanish, it's 3. And in Japanese, the word jellyfish is kurage. So if I wanted to count the syllables of the word kurage in Japanese, I could do kurage. 3 syllables, 3 sounds. But in English, how many syllables does jellyfish have? Oh my goodness, it has 3, the same number of syllables. But that doesn't always happen, like we saw with Spanish, saying watermelon in Spanish, because sandia was 3 syllables, but watermelon is 4. Well, I hope you had as much fun as I did clapping out syllables and even getting to say some words in other languages. Keep practicing counting those syllables. Keep practicing counting those syllables out.